My name is Peter Bishop. I'm the executive director of an NGO called Teach the Future. I am a futurist, an academic futurist. Others are professional consulting futurists. I was a director of a program at the University of Houston, a master's degree in foresight for 30 years, and started this NGO to take exactly what we were teaching adults and professional futurists and bringing it to young people in high school and in college. So my impressions of the scientific congress here are excellent. A noted set of speakers on all kinds of subjects, on astronomy, on medicine, and of course artificial intelligence is the topic of the day and how it's going to affect us in the world. It will be big and will be a big change, we expect. We don't know exactly how big, nor exactly what the impact will be. But this is a chance for the public and for the scientific community to begin to discuss these issues about the future, which is the beginning of anticipating and then adapting to whatever is going to come about. Nicolaus Copernicus was one of the heroes of the history of science because he knew, as many men did in those days, and women as well, many different subjects. After coming to Poland, I found out in interviewing students in relationship to this conference that Copernicus was not only the astronomer that I knew about, but he also made contributions to medicine, to weather forecasting, and many other areas. A very truly dynamic person. I knew about Nicolaus Copernicus a long time ago in a book that was called The Structure of Scientific Revolutions, the creation of something called a new paradigm. The old paradigm, the Ptolemaic astronomical system, had been around for many, many centuries. And frankly, even though it was very complex, it did pretty well at forecasting where the planets would be in their different areas of astronomy. Copernicus's system, a completely different system, a completely unintuitive system, did as well and better, and finally obviously adopted by the scientific community. So how does one get out of the existing paradigm, the existing system, and think about a new system and propose a new system, and indeed have that system adopted by the rest of the world? That's quite an achievement, and I think he gets all the credit for that, for having achieved that. Groundbreaking ideas usually appear in one of the many sectors of society that we focus on. In social areas, in technological, economic, environmental, and political areas. There are groundbreaking ideas happening in each one of those. Technology, of course, is presenting us with now machines that do better at summarizing and gathering information and presenting that information in a coherent manner than we ever have before, quite surprisingly. So everybody is talking about artificial intelligence. Is there a social breakthrough idea? Well, I'd like to think that schools themselves could reform rather than being simply translating the old ways into the new generation, actually helping to create that generation and helping that generation to adapt by learning about the future. Economic ideas such as new employee-based firms, political ideas, more democracy, more individualization, and then the environment, of course. The breakthrough idea is that can we actually have a legitimate energy society that doesn't destroy the planet and doesn't create the incredible damages and catastrophes that we're experiencing today. Those, I think, are some of the major ideas going on that 5, 10, 15, 100 years from now, people will look back on these ideas, just like we look back on Copernicus's ideas and said, those were truly groundbreaking and they really changed society. I think humanity is ready for it, but not completely. Ready for new technologies, but not completely. We have adapted before. We are adapting even as we speak. So adaptability is a human trait, but it's not easy to do because we are familiar with the existing ways. We have habits that we don't want to change. It's not that we think those habits are perfect or that the existing system of government or education or business is perfect by any means, far from it. But we know it. We know how to be successful in it. So when we're faced with radical change, fundamental change, we say, wait a minute, I was educated in a particular way. I've been successful in a particular way. I'm a college professor, or I'm a business person, or I'm a politician, and I got here by working hard and doing good things, and now you want me to do it differently? What was wrong with the other way? Well, the other way was okay, but it wasn't contemporary. It wasn't suited for purpose the way it used to be. So adaptation is possible, but it's difficult. So it takes time. And people resist, and they don't like it, and they complain. That's the way humans are. Ultimately, we generally do adapt, and so we can go ahead with new things into technology. For students today, I would like to reiterate what one of the speakers of the conference pointed out this morning, and that was, if you are learning to do easy things, things that people know how to do, you're not going to be successful in the future, because the machines probably will figure out how to do those at least as well, if not better. And so you're competing with the machines. Working in manufacturing 50 years ago was the decent, middle class, a very successful way of raising a family. That's not true anymore. The machines came and took those jobs over. Those who were adaptable, those who upskilled themselves to become a designer rather than a worker, a laborer, are successful today. It's hard to do because it's different. And oftentimes, and frankly, I do charge society sometimes without giving people the resources and the motivation and the means to be successful in those cases. So it is both the individuals need to adapt, and society needs to be ready to help them adapt, give them the opportunity and the resources to be successful in a different future. The new program in Foresight, I know, is on the books and is going to be starting soon. I've already had discussions with people at the university about teaching in that program and offering what I can do. I developed a curriculum in Houston many years ago. It's the leading, I like to think, at least a leading Foresight program in the world. And if this university wants to become so, I would love to be a part of the team that creates it. I don't think AI will take over humanity. There are people who may want it to. I would hope that we have the good sense to use it as a tool rather than as the overlords of society. There are people today who are so attached to social media, so attached to technology, that they are basically being run by the companies that run the algorithms on the media. That's deplorable. That's really a shame. We have to remain awake and in control of our faculties, because human intelligence is still better than, more creative than artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence in the last few years has produced amazing surprises, but those surprises are still constrained by the fact that AI is all about the past. AI is summarizing what human civilizations have known throughout history, which is a marvelous thing, but that's not the same as being creative about the future. We can still be creative about the future, and that's what we should be teaching in school, not just the facts of the past.